Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final episode of Sports Talk in the Burgh for this semester, and it has been a ride. With you the whole way has been me, Sam Anthony. Alongside me is Ian Kist and Logan Carney. And guys, one last ride. Weeks ready to go?
How's my mustache work?
You know, it looks good. He's growing it out for No Shave November, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? I think give him time. What are we, halfway through November? He's running out of time.
Like 15 more
You'd be
days.
shaving it in 2 weeks.
But, you know, we'll talk more about the mustache later. Maybe that'll be a debate topic. We're going to start off with Robert Morris men's and women's basketball. The teams have officially begun their seasons. Both teams opening up on the road against big-time opponents. The men taking on the Buckeyes of Ohio State and the women taking on the Spartans of Michigan State. Both games resulted in 30-plus point losses. But did you like what you saw from either of the teams?
I mean, I definitely liked what I saw from the men's team. Specifically, the two players, Kobe Thomas, Maddie McConnell. Kobe Thomas, freshman, first career start against a good team in Ohio State. 22 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. Maddie McConnell, my apologies, 20 points. Tied his career high in games. It's against Ohio State, great opponent. I'm just really excited now because I wasn't excited going in. 11 new players. There wasn't much hype surrounding the team, but now I'm really excited for this team because of those two.
Here's my question though. What happened to Maddie McConnell in that next game? 4 points against Grand Canyon University. I mean, I know he got into foul trouble early, but he still ended up with 22 minutes. He was 0 for 4 from 3, 1 for 6 from field goals.
Well, he's not that player, and he's not the player against Ohio State. But he's the player in between, all right? The player against Ohio State is like, he can have those type of games. We know that now because he did it.
But why? So if we're looking at a player that's inconsistent, how can we be happy with that if you're Robert Morris?
I'm not saying he's going to be inconsistent throughout the whole year.
But that's what you're saying. You're saying he's that in-between player.
I'm saying he's in between those two is how he will be average throughout the rest of the year.
But one thing that did stick out to me in that Grand Canyon game last night was Deshaun Burks for a premiere in this season. 15 points, 6 rebounds. I mean, if he was there,
steals, though. That was the big number for me that really stuck out.
In Ohio State, I think we give him a tough ride.
The men's soccer team fell to St. Francis 3-0 in the NEC tournament. Guys, what is your thoughts on the team moving forward into next season? And do you see them making any major changes in the offseason?
So here's my dilemma here, Logan, with this team is I'm looking at some really notable seniors here. When you think of players that were really impressive this year, the best 2 players, Winter Fondy and Bailey Winkle, both seniors, gone. You're looking at guys like Bennett Jewell, he's a grad student, he's gone. He was the captain of this team. Guys like Jake Cooper, another guy who contributed. Raphael Bruswell, Keen MacGyver. I mean, this wasn't a very good team in the first place. They were ranked 196 out of 205 teams in the country, and you're losing almost all of your talent. And to me, that just screams bad things. This was supposed to be the year that they really came back and they were impressive this year, and they look good in conference. They earned a playoff spot. But besides that, I mean, now you're starting from scratch again.
I mean, and there's no one on this team that underclassmen that I see stepping up. I mean, I'm scared. I'm scared for this team next season. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, Bailey Winkle stepped up this year. Nobody saw that. Let's just be honest. Nobody saw that coming up. So somebody can definitely step up next year. They improved drastically on scoring over the 2 years. I mean, I think those first, 6 games last year, they didn't score a single goal. Even when they were losing this year, they were still scoring. I'm not totally just going to cut this team off for next year because the NEC, I don't think it's the strongest conference. So could they still, finish
I mean, the NEC is a toss-up every year, but here's my problem with that is, one, I mean, their defense was not good this year. Can we say that? And it was only Fondy saved it. And to me, you have no Bennett Jewell, who's gone. He's the leader of that defense, and no Winter Fondy. That's really where the big question marks are.
The RMU volleyball team fell to Central Connecticut State in their last regular season game of the season, finishing with a 14-6 regular season record, and now are preparing for LIU Brooklyn, the NEC tournament. Guys, what are your predictions on the tournament and for the seasons to come with how much youth is on this team? So
to me, just with the way this year finished for Robert Morris, again, it was kind of inconsistency is kind of the name of the game.
They got swept this past weekend.
But to me, what happens is you're talking about a team that really struggled on the road. Most of their losses came on the road, and one of those was a loss on the road to LIU Brooklyn. And to me, that's the problem. Is they're going to go on the road. They're a young team, playoff jitters. I don't think this is the year, but I think you have to be excited with the way this year turned out. I mean, Emma Granger set the record for freshman aces this year. She had 5 in a row in one game. It was phenomenal.
And just the freshman lead in kills, top 3 freshmen. The kills leader on this team are freshmen. You add what they learned this year from Taylor Lord, you put her into the mix. She'll be a senior next year. killer. I mean, I think they're going to be lights out.
I'm going to talk about the future, specifically because, guys, I don't know if you can see this. I have a copy here of an article I wrote beginning of the year about me
He's
breaking
very
down
modest,
the
ladies and gentlemen.
very
Look,
modest.
yeah.
I am, about just breaking down the entire season. I mean, this is the season that I expected because the young, a lot of talent, they're going to be inconsistent. I mean, you guys mentioned that they were inconsistent. They were extremely inconsistent.
And that's
this
the name
year.
of the whole thing.
Should they win an NEC in the next 4 years? If they don't, if Emma Granger stays there and they don't win one, then this would be a very disappointing class.
Yeah,
I would guarantee they'll win at least one, and they should win. They should probably win two. They could win three.
I think they win three, at least two.
Arguably the best team on campus right now is the Robert Morris women's hockey team. The team takes a 9-1-2 record and a number 9 ranking into what can be considered the most monumental program-defining game in the history as the Colonials take on the number 5 Ohio State Buckeyes. A sweep in this series would give the Robert Morris Colonials consideration nationally and make them a legitimate national championship contender. But do the ladies of RMU hockey have a shot at this one? And what will have to happen for them to earn the wins in the upcoming weekend?
The way that one person that sticks out and the way that Elijah Milne-Price between the pipes has been playing, 192 saves, .941 save percentage, 8-0-2. I think, and without the way the scoring's been coming for this team, I think for sure this team has what it takes to beat the big-time opponents.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a team that's scoring 4.3 goals per game. That is a stupid amount of scoring. They're the best offense in the nation, and they have one of the best defense in the nation. They're also 4th in the nation in defense. They're putting up all these numbers that scream to me, hey, Robert Morris is here, and they're a legitimate contender. The one number that sticks out to me, though, Ian, is their strength of schedule. Out of 40 teams in the nation, their strength of schedule is 35th. So to me, they're dominating these really bad teams. Ohio State's going to be the proof. Can Elijah Milne-Price prove that she's really has what it takes to be one of the best goalies? Is Brittany Howard really the best player in the NCAA this year?
Yeah, I mean, if you win enough against, if you even have a bad schedule, I think back to Wichita State in basketball before they just switched conference. If you win enough against the bad teams, if you dominate those bad teams, you're still going to get a lot highly thought of. I mean, it's not like they're just winning. It's not like they're just scraping by. They are dominating these teams. I look by, 11-0 at Brown, 6-0 against Lindenwood, 6-1 against RIT, 5-2 against RIT. They're dominating their opponents. It's not like they're just scraping by these bad teams. And again, I don't think strength schedule will be that big of a worry. Now moving on to the men's side, RMU's hockey got swept by RIT this past weekend, and their record fell to 3-7-1 overall and 3-5-1 in conference play. Guys, what is going on with RMU's men's hockey?
Where's the defense?
That's exactly the point.
Where's the defense? They're giving up 5 goals a game, like at least 4 consistently in my eyes. And the goaltenders can only do so much. Frankie and Pickle can only do so much. They're getting beat up. I believe in one of the games against RT, Frankie had 59 saves, and he still gave up 5 goals. And that's because the defense is letting RMU's opponents get shots off, and that is killing them. Until the defense gets fixed, it's going to be a struggle for this men's team.
Just, again, we're going to put some numbers in perspective. This team is ranked 54th out of 60 teams in team defense. I mean, bottom of the nation. There's a reason that they've been so bad. And you're right. To me, it's the fact that they lost Rob Mann, such a big presence, the captain last year on defense, and now you're looking at guys like Eric Israel, who's been a great role player.
But doesn't have that build.
He needs to step up and fill that role. Someone on the defense needs to fill that role.
Get gritty.
Yeah, exactly, and kind of grind out those plays.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to sound like a broken record. I mean, you said it all throughout. I mean, you look at these numbers: 336 shot attempts to 283. About 50 difference in shots between the opponents of Robert Morris. It's not even like their opponents are just scoring more; they're just getting more lucky chances. They're just dominating the Robert Morris defense. I mean, it doesn't even look close. Just looking at these stats, 101 shot percentage to below 1. They're connecting on more of their shots. They're shooting more. Of course, it's going to translate to more wins. It's just logic, simple logic. Coming up on Sports Talk, we debate the happenings around the Pittsburgh sports scene, as well as looking at the hot start by the Boston Celtics. Stay tuned.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you prevent wildfires.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones
Don't even.
and explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Indianapolis Colts Sunday with a 20-17 score. And what did both of you see specifically that led to the nail-biting victory? Also, if Ben Roethlisberger stays healthy, what are the chances this team wins the Super Bowl, guys?
If Ben Roethlisberger stays healthy. Wow, because he has just been on fire this year. Because he is just lighting it up, you know. I mean, it just hasn't been good.
He did have 2 touchdowns, though.
If they lose Ben Roethlisberger, I honestly do not think that their chances will change that
But you
much.
think
Wait,
Landry Jones will save the team?
Hold on.
His touchdown to interception ratio was almost 1-to-1. It's almost 1-to-1. It's
Talk
not
about in terms of running that
Experience.
offense, seeing things. Because, again, a player like Antonio Brown, remember when Michael Vick came in and a guy like Antonio Brown had no receiving yards?
He couldn't hit him.
Yeah, creating those opportunities, opening the
that's
field.
real great. You know what, Sam? Ben Roethlisberger, when he's targeting Antonio Brown, I brought it up in the last episode, 6 interceptions, which is the most in the league.
You're right,
All
but
it doesn't matter.
Antonio Brown only leads the league.
But
in
Antonio
receiving.
Brown also.
Oh, that's so great when you turn the ball
Antonio
over.
Brown
No,
also
it is great
makes,
when it's
makes
opportunity.
fantastic catches and turns possible interceptions into touchdowns.
But we're not talking about playing without Antonio Brown. We're talking about playing without Ben.
So you're telling me
but
that
if there's
Ben
no Ben, there's no Brown.
There's already not much of a Brown. They turn the ball over when they throw to him. It's more than anybody else in the league.
At Kansas City,
So you're telling me that Ben
turned
Roethlisberger
that
has
into
zero
a touchdown.
contribution to the 4th best offense in the league, a league that depends on quarterback play, has nothing to do with the quarterback.
yeah.
Please defend that for me.
I'm just saying it shouldn't be that hard to win when your defense only lets up 17 points. If Ben Roethlisberger is getting credit this year, that's absurd because the defense has been the entire team this year. The offense has been extremely disappointing, and it's just been frustrating all about. And we're just going to move on.
I don't
This
think you
past
understand
weekend, continue the trend of new and creative celebrations due to the NFL's laid-back celebration rule. But also a little bit of controversy when Juju Smith-Schuster and Le'Veon Bell had some fun at the expense of rival Bengals wide receiver A.J. Green, mocking his fight with Jaguars defensive back Jalen Ramsey in a recent celebration. Guys, what are your thoughts on the celebration, that one, and the whole thing just as a whole?
I'm over it.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
It's a little funny, but
Because you know what? Stuff like that, one, it fuels rivalries. I think that's great. I want to see the next time, because Pittsburgh goes in to Cincinnati, and I want to see A.J. Green furious at the Pittsburgh Steelers. You want to see Vontaze Burfict out for a vengeance
I just
here.
don't like celebrating.
See, it's
Why not,
fun.
though?
It adds
Why
to
not?
it.
I think it's
One
great.
time I was watching the game with my grandma, and she goes, "Why do they celebrate?" I was like, "Grandma, when she was a nurse," and I said, "When you drew blood from a patient, you didn't celebrate that you successfully drew blood from a patient. No, because you did your job."
Well, yeah, football's not a life and death situation. Being a nurse can be a life and death situation.
But I just don't get it. Like, do your job. After a good broadcast, we do it, but we
Their
don't
job-
we don't jump and act like we're
NFL's
lifting weights
job.
with a football.
Athlete's job and the NFL's job, bottom line, is to entertain. And if you're going to sit there and tell me that these are not entertaining,
I don't do
that
your
they
job.
aren't
Get off
doing
the
their
field.
job,
Go catch another ball. Go run another touchdown. Move on.
I don't even know what's happening anymore. Okay, so you're comparing football to nursing.
It's still a job. It's a job. Do your
like,
job.
But the
Do your
difference is
job
nursing
and
sales
move on.
Their job is to entertain, and this is entertaining. I
I
love these
argue that's not
celebrations.
entertaining,
I miss
but-
guys like Chad Ochocinco and Terrell Owens, and I wish there was more of it. I really do. The Penguins lost again this past weekend to both the Capitals and the Predators. Just like our very own RMU Colonials, they are struggling. Guys, what is going on with this team?
It's everything.
The backs are killing them.
The fact that they're at the bottom of the league in scoring, a team that has Malkin, Kessel, Crosby. Crosby's on an 11-game goalless streak right now. He's ice cold. And the fact that then their defense is not performing. Their goalie, they're having a goaltending problem now. Matt Murray's not performing at the same level. It's one thing you can pinpoint. It's a whole team here, and it's figuring out exactly, it's one thing at a time, but a lot of it, I think, starts with Sidney Crosby. When he starts scoring, everything's going to fall in place, because that's the team. That's what they're built on.
You look at it
scoring.
as the entire team. You look Eastern Conference in differential, goals differential, they have the second worst, minus 18 differential, goal differential. There's only 3 teams in negative, below negative 10. All right, there's only 3. And the defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champions are one of them. I mean, it makes you reconsider, and I'm just going to ask you this question, just makes you reconsider. Would you have liked the Penguins now to keep Fleury? Because it's obviously the whole team, because the goalies haven't done anything.
Yeah, because back-to-backs, they struggled during back-to-backs this season so far in the first 2 months or so of the season, and they're not going anywhere. They have 1 December, 3 in January, 2 in February, and 3 in March, right before the playoffs start, even if they make the playoffs. And that's where they're struggling, and I think it's gonna stay a problem. Now, the Boston Celtics are currently on a 12-game winning streak and in sole possession of first place in the Eastern Conference. What has guided their success so far this season after starting 0-2 and losing Gordon Hayward in the first game against the Cavs?
So everyone thinks in the NBA that is today is, you look at the Golden State Warriors, the Houston Rockets, and, scoring. So when you see Gordon Hayward leave, you think, oh no, the scoring's going to come less. What's won the Celtics games is their defense. They've allowed a mere 94.4 points per game, which is the lowest in the league by a astonishing margin, almost 4 points to the next team. But then you also have the top 5 players in defensive efficiency rating are all on the Boston Celtics. And it's guys like Terry Rozier and Aaron Baines, alongside Horford, Smart, and Irving, guys you expected to contribute. And to me, that's why the Celtics have been so good as defense.
I mean, it's just not just defense. I mean, it's just the whole Brad Stevens system, the whole sharing the ball, unselfish defense. It's just... He's just such a great coach.
And that's
I think
why
he's
they were
personally
good.
one of the best coaches in the league. I think he's number 2 right behind Popovich, personally. But their leading scorer is Irving. He's only averaging barely above 20 points. And while that's a really good number, it's not the 26 that Thomas averaged last year, and it's not nearly the numbers that guys over, you mentioned the Warriors, the Rockets, all those their star players put up. It's a very unselfish team with great defense, and it's just really great fundamental basketball.
And I like the scoring, of course. Kyrie's, leading the scoring with 20.3 points per game, but then you have Jaylen Brown, 14.7 points per game, Al Horford, 15.2, and it's to me it's impressive, and I think this team keeps up their scoring and the leadership of Kyrie. It's all over for the Cavs. You're not going to see them at all.
As the Major League Baseball offseason begins, we see the NL Central teams like the St. Louis Cardinals going after big-time players like Giancarlo Stanton. Guys, do the Pittsburgh Pirates need to shake things up themselves this offseason? Perhaps see if players like Garrett Cole and Andrew McCutchen can be used as some sort of valuable offseason trading tool to rebuild this team?
The key there is to rebuild this team and stop looking into the future, because that's their excuse for everything. Yeah, if the price is right and you can ship off Kutch and you can ship off Garrett, I think, but you need to get someone big and fill those holes. And if you don't, again, the pitching is a problem in my eyes. So if Garrett's not the answer, go use him as trade bait and get a big pitcher. But I don't think that's going to happen.
We didn't even mention who is probably, in my opinion, the most likely to go in the offseason. That is Josh Harrison, who has 1 year left. And yes, he was arguably the most valuable player on the team last year, him or McCutchen or maybe Bell, depending on how you view your statistics and everything. It was definitely one of those 3. But they have a guy that they like in Adam Frazier that can step in, play the utility role, and put at second base. Very good player. He's not as good as he doesn't have the power that Harrison somehow has.
Yeah, but he's a scrappy player.
Exactly. So they have the guy to replace him.
He gets dirty.
You can get a good player for him. Second base is very low. In middle infield, you can play in the outfield. It seems like he's the most likely player to go. Should they listen? Yes. Should they trade him? I don't think.
Well,
so.
and here's the problem too: is with McCutcheon's high salary not meeting his performances per se. It's going to be hard to get any value for him because teams are going to have to, eat a lot of salary.
And
so why would they give up a big guy to eat a lot of salary?
Good point. Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So we are going to go to break, but when we come back, me, Ian, and Logan are going to give our final takes here on Sports Talk in the Burgh. You're not going to want to go away, so stay tuned.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh, and it's that time again. Once again, we're going to give our final takes where we each get to say what's really on our minds this week in sports. And I'm going to start with Roger Goodell. It has been reported that Roger Goodell has been asking for a contract extension that would pay the NFL commissioner $50 million a year and provide him access to a private jet for life. This is all despite all the blunders involving the Ray Rice suspension, the Deflategate case, and most recently the ridiculously drawn-out battle with embattled running back Ezekiel Elliott. The issues involving the NFL have been plastered all over the news. Ratings have declined. Many are protesting the league, and meanwhile, Roger Goodell believes he has earned himself a $20 million pay raise. But also, let's go back to that. Roger Goodell already makes $30 million a year. There are only 36 athletes in all of sports. That's not even in the United States. That's in the world that make more than $30 million a year. And the fact that he wants to raise his pay after all the blunders and controversy that have plagued the league is just ridiculous.
Many people say that WWE is fake. Well, I argue that. It's scripted, not fake. People say that WWE is not a sport. You're right, it's not a sport. It's entertainment, worldwide entertainment. The word is in the company's name, people. However, the WWE superstars are athletes. They are some of the most fit individuals in the world. Individuals tune in weekly to watch The Big Bang Theory or whatever weekly show they watch, just like WWE fans tune in weekly to watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. That is the same thing. Am I wrong?
Unfortunately, this episode marks the end of another season of Sports Talk. More importantly, though, it marks the end of an era, as show staple Sam Anthony will be leaving us due to a scheduling conflict. I'm going to tell a quick story about the type of person Sam is. See, I was set to be on the show last semester, and I couldn't go back because of money troubles. The very first thing he said to me, or you said to me, when you saw me on campus was, quote, "Yes, I'm getting you on Sports Talk," end quote. It was like I never left. That made my day, and it's clearly made my year. Sam, I'm not the only person that is grateful. We have a surprise for you as we go through your progressions as a sports talk analyst and everyone's final take on you. Roll the clip.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Sports Talk in the Burgh. 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 I'm Sam Anthony. But if you can't tell by my costume, I've decided to go as our friend Ian Kiss today. I've rocked the sweater vest for the first time, and Ian, it's a little big on me. A great show for you tonight, so let's get right to it. Until errors are mistakes, so it's clear that didn't really make a big difference. All right, that's fine. His game was his speed. You look good, you feel good, right? All right. See it, but the teams that are ahead of them are Air Force, Army, Canisius, all teams that we have lost to.
What's up, Sam? Just wanted to say thank you for all the crazy memories on your shows, man.
We started a year, Player of the Year candidate. Logic is, he's not horrible. He's just, less bad. That's the logic you're giving me here, because...
Hey Sam, I just want to thank you for being the face of Sports Talk since the first episode. You've taught me about everything I know for being talented, and thanks for being you.
That are top 25. They beat a top-tier school in Rutgers, and they looked phenomenal doing it.
Hey Sam, you're a great host, an amazing person, and even a better friend. We'll miss you on the desk.
A little bit more fun here. It's time for Ian and Colin to do some role play. Elliot needs to step it up as both a football player and, more importantly, as a person, and do the right thing. The problem is that there's nobody else relevant in golf. That's the problem. It's not a Tiger Woods issue. It's a PGA issue.
What about
I call it my good luck charm. And on that note, hold on.
I don't think I am. Am I ready?
The Steelers will release Antonio Brown. Done.
If I could walk off the set, I would.
Hey Sam, thank you for everything you did, man. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have been able to even have Sports Talk.
Hey Sam, just wanted to say thank you for everything that you've done.
They won without him.
Yes, but they lost once without him, and they're in the Super Bowl now. Are you saying they would have done that with Jimmy Garoppolo?
I'm saying that
to be somebody besides Bailey Winkle that has to score, because you know what? He has 6 goals, and there is nobody else on that team that has more than 1. But you're wrong.
No, you're wrong. Because
Hey there, Sam, a co-founding father of Sports Talk in the Burgh. I just want to say thank you for all the memories, and thanks for being a great companion on the show. And most importantly, thanks for being a great friend.
More Sports Talk in the Burgh. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Sam, I just wanted to thank you for all the time that you put in with Sports Talk in the Burgh. You definitely taught me a lot. I know you're going to have a bright future ahead of you, whether you're on air or behind the scenes, but just wanted to thank you, even though I'm not there. So I'm sending in this video. So once again, thank you, and congrats on your career.
So Sam, we showed the video and everything, but that's not the only gift we have for you. So we got a couple of gifts here. We got a couple of gifts there. Nice this. A nice card signed by everyone in the studio here. Wishing you on your best.
This card has no purpose.
It was in case you looked at it, you would have been asked, "What is that for?" Well, no purpose. So everyone in the studio, and of course, you can't leave you without a little bit something.
What do we got? Oh my gosh. You guys are the best. You guys really are. This has been a staple of my college career for the entire time. I mean, it's just and it's you guys make it all worth it. So thanks guys.
I like to say
I'm gonna cry on air.
I'm on 2 Sam Anthony shirts now. You saw the old one last week.
I find it funny though. I would like to point out that this is your shirt, but if you look closely, Sam is actually covered up by the logo.
See, it's just one last dig at me. It's all right.
Me and Ian are in the main features of the whole thing. Sam, why don't you send us off one last time?
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in once more on Sports Talk in the Burgh.